I didn't see you there. So you guys, I've been eating my skincare. Can you tell? Moisturizer is my favorite, but I also love the taste of facial cleanser. Okay, I'm kidding. I haven't been eating my skincare, but recently, a lot of people online have been.
Let's eat skincare.
Over the past couple of months, I've come across a bunch of TikToks and Reels about how to eat your skincare or put together a skincare dinner plate. These videos typically involve content creators presenting overflowing plates of colorful food items and citing the nutritional skin benefits of each one, usually calling out specific vitamins and macronutrients. Some mainstays of the skincare dinner plate include skin-on salmon, sweet potatoes, raw carrot salads, raw spinach, raw garlic, raw onions, lots of raw food, tinned fish, fermented foods like pickles and kimchi, and fruits. The visual presentation of the skincare dinner plate highly resembles the Lunchable and also the girl dinner plates that went viral a couple years ago. Like girl dinner, skincare dinner is a disjointed combination of raw, cooked, and fermented items, often lacking sauces and seasoning. Each food is neatly positioned in its own respective spots on the plate, and many of the items are eaten on their own without blending flavors, because who wants to eat blueberries with salmon skin? Actually, I feel like that is a grizzly bear's death row meal, so. A big difference between these two trends, though, is irony, I would say. Girl dinner was conceived as sort of unserious, at least at first. It was an attempt to comically name the thrown-together, low-effort meals that women sometimes make to avoid doing dishes, which I'm guilty of.
I call this girl dinner. Girl dinner. Girl dinner.
On the other hand, skincare dinners are highly planned out and functional. Each item on the plate serves a specific purpose. For example, salmon for collagen. Some will also bite into pungent items like raw onions and garlic, making it clear that they're eating for function over pleasure.
They hate garlic, don't you?
But you know, this isn't the first time that food has been conceived as highly important for maintaining healthy skin. For example, in 2022, the Hailey Bieber Strawberry Glaze Skin Smoothie by Erewhon was advertised as skin supporting, convincing customers that they could achieve Hailey's signature glazed donut glow by consuming it. At the height of its popularity, Erewhon reportedly sold 40,000 strawberry skin glaze smoothies a month, generating around $800,000 in monthly revenue off the drink alone. In May 2025, Hailey even told Vogue that she drinks one strawberry glaze smoothie a day, and that the smoothie is 90% of the reason why her skin looks the way it does. Well, Hailey may have just been saying that to sell some smoothies. I mean, I don't know, but that's what I assume. Other content creators contend that eating your skincare is as good, if not better, for your skin than applying topical products.
Your skin is an organ, not a coat. And if you're not feeding it from the inside, then you're just painting over a crumbling wall.
Others argue that you shouldn't put anything on your skin you wouldn't also eat, which further adds to this equivocation of food and serums.
Why are we putting all these chemicals on our skin if they can't go in our mouth? What people don't understand is that your gut is a direct correlation of your skin. So if your skin is constantly breaking out, it's because you're having gut and inner issues.
Don't get me wrong, eating nutritious food can definitely benefit your entire body, including your skin. But food usually isn't the sole reason for someone's clear skin. Other factors like sleep, sun protection, hygiene, and of course genetics come into play. For example, writer Hannah Flanagan tried using fewer skincare products and eating skincare dinners for a month, and she actually found that it detracted from her skin's glowing appearance. While her body felt great from eating so many nutrient-dense foods, she wrote that her skin felt uncomfortably tight and dry, less firm and supple, and that her complexion appeared dull, similar to what it looks like after a long night of too much alcohol and not enough sleep. Flanagan's experience is not too odd. In actuality, there's little conclusive evidence that the foods included in skincare dinners improve skin appearance. While one study found a clear link between nutrition and skin health, the researchers concluded that more research was needed on the impact of a skin-healthy diet on short and long-term skin health outcomes. Dermatologist Dr. Anjali Mato tells Refinery29 that there is zero scientific basis to the claim that eating specific foods can target specific aesthetic concerns on different parts of your face. She adds that when you digest food, the nutrients are broken down and distributed throughout your body according to vital organ priority, and they don't necessarily target under eye darkness or acne directly. But while I want to emphasize that most of these foods are fine and safe to eat, healthy even, and so it's less concerning than the dude bros chugging raw milk, I agree with writer Georgia Casey, who said, quote, intentionally or not, by conflating the consumption of preordained safe foods with beauty, creators are encouraging compulsive eating habits. So essentially, skincare dinner can be a gateway to disordered eating behaviors. Dietitian Lola Biggs explains that when viewers follow online advice, and even if they don't see the promised transformation, the natural response is to eat even more rigidly, cut out more foods, and become increasingly anxious about every meal. With that said, I'm not hating or accusing any of these creators or trying to invoke EDs in their audiences. Most of the skincare dinners shown on TikTok are full plates of food, and many of the creators are probably feeling the physical benefits of eating nutritiously, and they just want to share their positive lifestyle adjustments with other people. They may even notice an added glow in their complexion because of it, even if it's not completely scientifically correlated. As someone who ate instant ramen, pizza, and alcohol as my entire diet during my first year of college, I felt completely reborn when I went back home over the summer and my mom fed me, like actual healthy food. Say, when I was reintroduced to vegetables. However, I do think there is a balance, right? And I think this trend reflects a larger online tendency to promote optimized living, often at the expense of genuine enjoyment. And it becomes more dangerous when conflated with beauty standards. As a fashion girly, Casetify's mirror cases satisfy my needs for style and functionality. And as an art lover, I can appreciate Casetify's spotlighting of talented artists and their work. My current favorite is the Color Cloud case with art made by Jessica Poundstone. This piece's calming gradient effect really spoke to me. It elevates a phone case to a soothing visual journey through color, texture, and vibrancy. Not only is it lovely to look at on its own, this case also adds the perfect pop of color to any outfit. I don't know about you guys, but I drop my phone all the time. Thankfully, Casetify's mirror cases come with a raised bezel and camera ring for drop protection up to 6.6 feet. That's taller than me. For even more convenience, Casetify's cases are MagSafe compatible. I have this snappy mirror grip stand that makes it easier for me to hold my phone, and not to mention put on a quick iPad kid lunchtime YouTube video. I know you can relate. Casetify is also offering a 6-month warranty and fast and free shipping over $40. To upgrade your phone's look and durability, go to casetify.com/MinaLay or Amazon to check out the selected items with a 15% off discount for a limited time only. Now back to our regularly scheduled programming.
I don't think encouraging people to eat more nutrient-dense foods, as we see in a lot of these videos, that's not inherently a harmful message, but the concern is that, social media often exaggerates what a food can do for our appearance, and it's going to, of course, sell expensive products when the evidence is quite weak for their efficacy, and it's creating this impression that every meal needs to be optimized for our beauty, for aesthetics. We tend to like to reduce something complex or something that is perhaps, at least what the research shows, more grounded in overall dietary patterns, like eat a diet rich in fruits and vegetables, for example, and reduce that down to this idea that this one singular superfood can serve as your sunscreen or can serve to, give you that glassy skin. But the best evidence we have, as mentioned, is largely more about patterns rather than individual foods. The research is consistently showing strongest associations between adequate protein, fruit and vegetable consumption, because that's when we're going to get a wide range of antioxidants, which is very important for, preventing damage in the skin via inflammation, healthy fats, like those heart-healthy omega-3s that we're seeing people talk about. But then it's also things like limiting smoking, sleep quality, stress management, sun safety. All of those together are far more important than any individual kind of quote unquote beauty food. And so we're just kind of like latching on to these different hooks to get different women's attention, but they all feed into body surveillance and, our own insecurities, especially as we scroll through social media platforms, which are ultimately just a bunch of filters.
As you've probably already noticed, skincare dinner is a trend that mostly women are consuming, as beauty, wellness, and lifestyle content is typically more tailored to us in general. Also, beyond the actual woman creators posting this content, the physical layout of the skincare dinner and similar snack plate trends like girl dinner reads as classically and stereotypically feminine. The food is brightly colored and arranged neatly on the plate, reflecting the visual preferences of someone who's been conditioned to prioritize aesthetics and control. Also, just the fact that every ingredient is so legible contributes to the sense of aesthetic control, of needing to know exactly what you're putting into your body. But trust, this food optimization exists across the gender spectrum. And at the other end of it, straight male content creators are posting optimized food content. It's just their food tends to deprioritize aesthetics in favor of slamming protein shakes and cooking up monochromatic plates of chicken, broccoli, and rice. Even more artisan male creators like Owen are a bit sloppier and more aggressive with the way they prepare and eat food, showing quick cuts of them chopping food fast, sauteing items with fire, and loudly biting into dripping sandwiches. Women, on the other hand, usually present food in a more balanced and delicate manner, even sometimes leaning on a soft and gentle cadence when speaking to the camera.
Next, you'll need 2 plates. On one of them, add some olive oil.
Good Lord.
All to say, even though social media can be seen as this democratizing force where anyone can post anything, I think there are a lot of gendered pressures that people face when they are making their content.
In some ways, it reminds me of like how we create plates for little kids who maybe like things to touch or have some picky eating that they're working through, that in some way there's an element of control, perhaps, in how things are sort of being arranged on the plate. It could be for people thinking really strictly about portion size as well. So in some ways, there could be these lenses of like diet culture being represented as well as what we think that plate looks like. But I mean, we also live in chaotic times. It can be really nice to find a place that feels orderly, where you feel a sense of control. And so whether that's in the way you design your plate or the way you stock your fridge or the way you pack a suitcase or a backpack or a purse, social media is full of so many of these, strangely satisfying, content categories. That could be a piece of this too, of like, why lay out the plate that way? I think the stereotypical understanding of those aesthetic conventions, right, is thinking about femininity and masculinity, these really defined binary terms, which of course isn't how it actually exists in the real world. But thinking about things like daintiness, color, balance, right, all being understood as feminine. And this idea of masculine, of just like, you kind of don't care, right? It all gets thrown together. It's about your hearty appetite and satisfying it, not what it looks like or taking a picture of it or sharing it. I think what's interesting about social media with creators is that it either creates the expectation of aligning very strongly to expected gender norms and the way we present and perform that, or rewarding transgression of that because of the way that the algorithms reward things at the extremes. And so the way that you perform your gender, create your identity as your persona, for the content you're creating, that it can benefit from the way that that works. But most of us are somewhere between those. And so thinking about how it actually doesn't create, these truly expansive, illuminating spaces for just everyday people to communicate their gender in the weird, normal way that is theirs.
What is your favorite food and why?
My favorite food is sinigang because I love the sourness of it and like vegetables and meat together. Chef's kiss.
Just like a great burger because it's just easy to eat. It's delicious.
Mine would be a Filipino dish called dinuguan. I grew up thinking it was chocolate meat. That's what we called it. So I was like, oh my gosh, I love chocolate. So I would eat it like crazy. It is not chocolate. It's basically blood. It's pork blood. It's so flavorful. Sometimes they put a chili in it with rice. It's the best.
This is a perfect burger day. It's like hot and it's like, I don't know, like I don't think about it too much, but it's a hot day, so I'm like, yeah, I could do a burger.
Favorite food is obviously Chinese food, and the staple I grew up with is my grandma's fried rice. It was better than restaurant quality fried rice because she was actually crisping the bottom of the rice and everything, and making it soft in the middle. I don't think these restaurants do that, so no offense to these places. But.
Well, I technically love all food, so I'm not gonna be biased, but if I had to be biased, I'm a New Yorker, and it's pizza, because like you can do pizza a million ways, and I put veggies on it, so I think it's healthy even though it's not. I think I'm gonna lose weight by eating pizza by having a veggie pizza, because it only makes sense in my head.
Right, and that's math. That's pizza math.
Hello, 1 + 1 = 2.
I guess because it's hot and I'm like stationed somewhere.
My favorite food, obviously, probably Mexican food. The chili rellenos. Okay. My grandma, she used to make it all the time. Yeah. the pepper and stuff the cheese in it, fry it. So good.
I'm gonna say my favorite food is Puerto Rican food. As a proud Boricua, I'm gonna say specifically my favorite dish will have to be penne, which is kind of the slow roast of a pork shoulder, where it's a hardening of the skin on top, known as coro. It's so good, it's so flavorful, and there's a ton of spices that it takes to make it happen. It's like an 8-hour process.
It's not like you're doing a lot of things burger day. No, you gotta be chilling.
Okay.
And it's a burger day.
A casual good day.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, today's a burger day. Thank you so much.
We'll go on with our history lesson.
Long before the days of what I eat in a day TikToks and weeknight recipe reels, there was an entirely different landscape of food media directed at women. In the mid-20th century, locally produced homemaking shows were the main sites of food and cooking content. These shows featured polished female home cooks and nutritionists who led viewers through cooking tutorials in sterile home kitchens, often wearing pressed aprons and pearls. Their delivery was highly practical and instructional, free of excessive humor or personality. However, in 1963, famed chef Julia Child added some zest to the cooking show format with the premiere of her iconic show, The French Chef.
I'm Julia Child. Welcome to The French Chef.
Child helped introduce French cuisine to American women who were, at the time, prioritizing efficiency and convenience in their cooking. She added personality and amusement to her instructions.
Julia Child presents The Chicken Sisters.
She embraced mistakes.
Well, that didn't go very well.
And she showed women that cooking didn't just have to be an obligation. It could be a source of pleasure, creativity, and even fun. Nora Ephron is one of my favorite essay writers, and she wrote an essay titled My Cooking Crushes, published in 2006 in The New Yorker, where she talks about her home cooking fixation and her relationship to different celebrity chefs throughout her life. There's this one passage I'll read out loud. By the mid-60s, Julia Child's Mastering the Art of French Cooking, Craig Claiborne's New York Times cookbook, and Michael Field's Cooking School had become the holy trinity of cookbooks. I cooked every recipe in Michael Field's book and at least half the recipe in the first Julia. And as I cooked, I had imaginary conversations with them both. Julia was nicer and more forgiving. She was on television by then and famous for dropping food, picking it up, and throwing it right back into the pan. Michael Field was sterner and more meticulous. He was almost fascistic. He was full of prejudice about things like the garlic press. He believed that using one made the garlic bitter, and I threw mine away for fear that he would suddenly materialize in my kitchen and disapprove. Influenced by the power of colorful on-screen personas like Child, Food Network was founded in 1993 with the purpose of creating cooking shows centered on vibrant chef personalities.
It's the world's first 24-hour cable network devoted exclusively to food, glorious food.
However, there was still a gendered expectation. Women chefs were maternal. They could be fun, but they couldn't be stern, while men were allowed to be more intense and more professional.
Bam!
This gender divide emerged further within celebrity chef personalities that ascended in the early 2000s. Women personalities like Paula Deen, Rachel Ray, and my family's favorite, Giada De Laurentiis, were cast as nurturing home cooks and working mom-adjacent figures, promoting comfort food and weeknight dinner shortcuts. Martha Stewart and Ida Garden similarly embodied the role of domestic Wonder Woman, positioning food as a way to impress guests when entertaining at home. In contrast, male personalities like Tyler Florence, Bobby Flay, and Guy Fieri were characterized as highly technical, adventurous, professional chefs who sought culinary mastery and pleasure. Gordon Ramsay and Anthony Bourdain maintained this ambitious, expert male chef identity on their own respective shows on Fox and the Discovery Channel. In her paper, Society of the Culinary Spectacle, an analysis of the mediated relationship between female celebrity chefs and the kitchen, Olivia Harries writes that Food Network's gendered celebrity chef identities reified the idea that men cook for pleasure and leisure, and women cook out of necessity and duty. In these early Food Network shows, male chefs were often portrayed rescuing chefs from kitchen nightmares, flexing their technical prowess, or exploring restaurants across America. Women chefs, on the other hand, were almost always in domestic kitchen settings, shown lovingly cooking meals for their families and their friends. The only times I saw a woman being taken seriously in the chef world when I was growing up was one in Ratatouille and two, Kat Cora on Iron Chef America. Cora was the first woman chef on the show, which is just so baffling considering the fact that a lot of these male chefs, when recounting their first introductions to food, it's usually through their grandma or their mom, showing how prevalent women are in the cooking world despite not receiving that credit financially. In her book, Diners, Dudes, and Diets, How Gender and Power Collide in Food Media and Culture, Emily Contois defines the dude chef archetype in food media as a man boasting a lackadaisical demeanor, communicating cool, unserious nonchalance, and rejecting yuppie consumerism and careerism. Guy Fieri, of course, fits this description to a T, with one media analysis characterizing him as, quote, the working class champion of diners and greasy spoons. Bobby Flay, on the other hand, is conceived as a more masculine chef artisan, often referencing his time cooking and eating abroad and presenting tailored versions of regional cuisines from around the world. Harries analyzes the quintessential woman home cook identity in an episode of The Pioneer Woman, hosted by celebrity chef Ree Drummond. While Drummond assumes the role of stay-at-home mother on screen, she trades pressed aprons and pearls for a relaxed v-neck and soft curls, appearing polished but relatable. Her cooking instructions are unfussy and calorie unconscious, encouraging viewers to measure with their hearts. Her show is unprescriptive compared to early homemaking programs and even Martha Stewart's complicated entertaining cookbooks from the 90s. Harries points out, though, that The Pioneer Woman includes many close-up shots of Drummond's hands in motion, and more specifically, her left hand, which displays her wedding ring. This not only serves to emphasize her traditional role as wife and homemaker, but also gives viewers a glance into Drummond's personal life. She often refers to her real-life husband and children, whom she's cooking for, dropping their real names to further solidify her parasocial bond with viewers, establishing her as equal parts personality and instructor. Food Network hit its peak alongside cable television in the 2000s. Today, viewers have become all too aware of how staged the domestic kitchen settings and celebrity chef personalities are. As Alicia Kennedy writes for Vox, today's biggest names in food media are regular people on TikTok. Unlike legacy media outlets, food content creators retain relatability without relying on a camera crew and soundstage. Content creators are also usually filming on their smartphones in tiny apartments, similar to the ones viewers have. Creators like the Korean vegan and Justine Dorian also bolster vulnerability by sharing personal stories about their lives, voiced over clips of them cooking. Social media has definitely democratized the food media space in many, many ways. And yes, I don't want to discredit the fact that a lot of creators do thrive without leaning into highly gendered stereotypes. However, because algorithms prioritize extreme content, we still often see creators thrive when they lean into highly gendered presentational choices, as is the case with successful tradwife creators like Ballerina Farm or Nara Smith, who wears over-the-top outfits while painstakingly cooking meals from scratch. Like Food Network celebrities, many food content creators have collapsed cooking education and entertainment into one content format. In that way, you could say that Nara Smith is like our new version of Chopped and Iron Chef America. In any case, people are definitely turning to TikToks and Reels for entertainment, but also for advice on what to cook and eat, as well as skincare tips. With how busy our lives are, it can be hard to prioritize making original, healthy meals for ourselves. After a long day, the last thing we often want to do is get creative in the kitchen, which can lead us to lean on highly reliable, functional dinners. On top of that, people have so little time and so little money these days that being able to kill two birds with one stone to feed ourselves and get a glowing appearance, it's enticing. Sign me up. I myself am often cooking as a chore. I'm not loving it. I'm doing the bare minimum to feed myself because I'm tired and I'm hangry. So if I don't get food inside me in 20 minutes or less, I will turn into an ogre. I will turn into the meanest person alive. It's not really the best condition to get fun and creative with food. So, let's hold space for our busy lives and needing to eat a struggle meal sometimes. Two things can be true at once, right? And I find that when I do have the time to be more intentional about what I eat and when I prioritize pleasure and fun as well as nourishment, I'm not only physically satiated, but mentally and emotionally satisfied as well. So rather than adhering to a rigid, optimized dinner plate, consider an alternative, the snack plate of life. This is an exercise that I'm doing to remind myself what it is about food that I love. And I recommend that if you have the time and energy to give it a try as well. And actually, if you want to just write in the comments section what would be on your snack plate of life, I think that could be fun too. So these are the categories: childhood favorite, recent obsession, unexpected flavor combo, and something I think everyone should try. Because this is supposed to be less intense, the foods I'm picking are snacks, but feel free to go crazy. And this could even be a fun idea for a dinner party menu. So I was like laughing about the snack situation because I think when someone looks at this plate, they're not always thinking like snack. But trust, I'm not a huge snack person. I like to have like little meals as snacks. The first one that I have as a childhood favorite is scrambled eggs and rice. I always cook my scrambled eggs with scallions and fish sauce instead of salt as a little bit of an extra like Asian kick. And I used to make this for myself every day after school. When I was in high school, it was the first thing I learned how to make. I had a neighbor slash best friend at the time. Her name was Nicole, and she would come over to my house every day after school and we would make these eggs and rice. So it's just a very sweet, energizing, and nostalgic part of my, I don't want to say diet, but meal plan, life food plan. The biggest part of my plate right now is my recent obsession, and the reason it's so big is because I didn't make this myself. It's from Haru Cake in Koreatown, and I love all their desserts. Personally, I kind of only really like Asian desserts, and I really like a lot of Asian flavors. So this cake slice that I got from them is mugwort plus injolmi, which is like a ricey flavor. They also do a lot of corn stuff, and I'm a very big corn person, but unfortunately they didn't have any corn desserts when I went, so we're gonna do this cake. The silence is deafening as I'm chewing.
I feel like I should get closer when you're chewing.
Unexpected flavor combo. This is not that adventurous, to be honest, but I'm not like Gordon Ramsay, so this is an unexpected flavor combo for me. I really love shrimp chips. You can get these at any Asian grocery store. And I think they honestly taste good with anything and even by themselves. But one of my favorite foods of all time, like top 5, is also guacamole. And so I started doing this thing where I'll eat like the shrimp chip with the guacamole. And I find that the guacamole does kind of overtake the shrimp chip. So it's not like that extreme of a combo. But I also think that like that kind of umami flavor profile of the shrimp chip goes really well with like the limey, avocado, refreshing. It's kind of like a discount shrimp cocktail, and it's awesome. Last thing that I have is something that I think everyone should try, even though I think everyone should try everything that I've put on this plate, despite how beige and green it looks. I got this croissant and I put condensed milk on the plate because when I was growing up, a common breakfast that I would eat was croissant and condensed milk. Condensed milk is very sweet and it's very yummy. And it's not something that a lot of people, I think, in America tend to eat. So I remember when I went to like a bakery for the first time, or like one of those brunch spots where they have like croissant on the menu, and I saw that like the choices that you could get for your croissant was like jam or honey. I was like, what on earth? Like, I want condensed milk with my croissant. So if you haven't tried it, you absolutely should. It will change your life. And that's my snack plate of life. All right, my beautiful doves, let's review what we learned today. Some people online are attempting to eat their skincare by putting together skincare dinner plates that contain nutrient-dense foods that are supposedly good for your skin. The aesthetic of these dinner plates is reminiscent of girl dinner, with each colorful food item being neatly separated on the plate and resembling ingredients more so than cooked dishes. But unlike the haphazard nature of girl dinner, skincare dinner is highly composed and optimized, often prioritizing function over pleasure. As Abby Sharp mentioned, while skincare dinners contain nutritious foods that are good for your entire body, including your skin, most evidence shows that healthy lifestyle habits are more correlated with skin health, rather than through consuming singular superfoods. Therefore, be aware of any trend that is diet culture disguised, and also be aware if these suggestions are inducing insecurities and anxieties over what you eat. No ingredient has that much power to change your life. But as Emily Contois mentioned, many are drawn to the colorful, organized aesthetic of skincare dinner, as it may help them feel a sense of control amid chaotic times. Often, food content aimed at either gender leans into stereotypical presentational choices, with content aimed at women often being conceived as dainty, tidy, and photo-worthy. Whether it's the Food Network celebrities of decades past or our favorite content creators on TikTok, we're flooded with media about how to cook and care for our bodies. On social media in particular, a lot of the content we consume is crafted to win over the algorithm instead of relying on nuanced, evidence-based research. For that reason, I think it's important to consider the intention of those doling out advice online. We should not only look for creators' professional credentials or cited research, but also ask ourselves if the messaging we're seeing is nuanced or if it's sensationalized, whether it's aiming to educate or to shock viewers. I always say that Nara Smith is a supreme rage baiter. I think she's an incredibly intelligent woman. She has made a business out of her online presence, which is difficult to do successfully. And I'm 100% sure she knows that when she leans into trad wifery, whether or not it's a philosophy she fully believes in, her videos gain traction and engagement from the algorithm. There's also just a lot of liars online. I came across a girl who was selling some hair growth serum on TikTok Shop, and she claimed that her bald spot grew hair in 3 weeks. Sorry, it's just not possible. And the way she edited the video, it was just so obvious that she was just brushing more hair over the spot with each week progression photo. So stay curious, but also stay cautious. We also shouldn't lose sight of the fact that food is such a pleasurable aspect of life. It's how we retain ties with our family and culture, connect with new people, and celebrate special occasions. While there are, of course, so many benefits to eating nutrient-dense food items, adhering to a rigid diet can hold us back from truly experiencing the pleasure of food and connecting with other people over a good meal. When we live life with a sense of healthy balance, we gain a true glow that no amount of salmon skin could match. This is the end of the video. Thank you so much for spending time with me, and I'll see you next time.